I have a 28-year-old daughter who'll be 29 this year in May, and I really hurt her a lot. And she just finally reached out to me again after 10 years.
Welcome to another edition of Recovery Happens. I'm Patrick Patterson, Executive Director of BW Rock. Today we have David, who's here to offer hope and encourage recovery.
Well, I grew up on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, about 30 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean in Salisbury, Maryland, or Delmar, right next to Salisbury, the big hub. I was the oldest in my mother's first marriage, and I was born Saturday right before Mother's Day, so I made her mom right before Mother's Day. When I was 16 years old, I think it was the first time I ever drank it. It was a Moosehead beer with my friend Aaron Hudson. We went to the Monster Truck Show that night, so his brother got us a six-pack, and I drank two, and he drank four. That was my first buzz. So, yeah, but it's nothing to be proud of, but I can still remember it like it was yesterday, sure. Right where I took my first drink and everything. I wanted to get in sports and stuff like that. Got mixed up with a little bit of the wrong crowd, and it led me, last year at school, I wasn't doing alcohol on the weekends and stuff like that. I was still maintaining a job and maintaining a cover up at the house so nobody knew what was going on. So I was kind of playing two sides of the street at the same time. When I realized I had a problem is when I was in the military, probably overseas in 2000. I was just going a little bit overboard. Right before I left, we went to Puerto Rico and I blacked out. That's the second time I blacked out. And it just wasn't right, you know. And I was going through some difficult things and stuff like that, and that's what always led. It was either drink and try to mellow out and get over life hurdles, and also use as a tool to go get women and stuff like that, the wrong women, out of bars and stuff like that. But that was my go-to, just to relax and unwind. Most of my time in the last 20 years, from 2002 in May, I got locked up. I did 6 years in the Maryland prison system. Came home. I was home for a little less than 3 years, and I went back in 2011 and served another 4 years. So out of a 10-year sentence, I served 9 years, 8 months, and 29 days. And there was some dark points, but I was able to accomplish some things while I was there. I did an auto mechanic shop. I did business data and processing. So I did take some good out of prison. But there was a lot of loneliness and away from family and stuff like that. It always hurts. And somehow the Lord let me cope through that. And I was able to go at ease with it. And I give it up to my Father, my Lord Jesus Christ. The first thing I did when I came home from prison, the first time I went to a rehab through the military, about a 3-month thing, and after that, I think it was like a year and a half or so before I picked up, and it kind of scared me a little bit because when I was in the military, I crushed my right hand. I had 19 pins in my hand and wrist, and I always looked at that, said I'll never pick up again with that hand. But I broke that promise, and I never got as bad as I was when I was in the military as far as drinking. But it was just a point where I didn't want to go back down that road again, so I kind of stopped on my own. I recently got out of prison again in Michigan. I served 6 years and 3 days on a 6-year bit. And I was able to come to the Huron House and start my life again. I was only there a couple weeks, and they put me in a hotel. I got plugged right in with Blue Water BW Rock, and I got in touch with Eric. He was my recovery coach, and life was good. And I had a good key members of my probation officer, Steve Lindbergh. It was a good thing for me, and Katie, my life coach, and of course Eric. And I had one more session with him before he left this earth, and hopefully he's in heaven. I'll see him again one day. And he was a bright spot in my life, and coming to meetings and stuff like that was also a bright spot in my life, and just getting my life back together. This May 2026, I'll have 7 years clean. I got a little bit of trouble before I went in the military. I was married, and we separated, and that's why I went in the military. I have a 28-year-old daughter who'll be 29 this year in May, and I really hurt her a lot. And she just finally reached out to me again after 10 years, and she asked me a bunch of questions, what happened and stuff like that. And I was straight up and honest with her. It was like a prayer come true. Hasn't spoken to me since early February, and I'm still in prayer about it, that she'll reach back out to me again. But she's I just continue to hold it up in prayer, and it was like a prayer come true. When we did talk, we talked for like 2.5 hours back and forth. And it was just an overflowing of joy in my heart that maybe that channel will open back up in my life. My lowest point was right before I got out of the military. I got into a motorcycle accident. I crushed my right hand. It's the first time I had really got that down in life. I got real depressed. I didn't want to do nothing for myself. It was a chore just getting out of the bed and getting dressed to walk across the street to go get chow at the chow hall. So I think that would be my darkest point. Life like today is awesome. I mean, I couldn't ask for it. God's been opening a lot of doors for me, blessed me with a good job, good vehicles, and the only bad thing is about I'm away from my family back in Maryland and South Carolina. I really miss them, and hopefully soon I'll be able to go back and visit them. I want to tell somebody listening today that there's always hope. Either the higher power or what my higher power is, the Lord Jesus Christ. If you get your heart and your mind and your soul plugged into recovery centers like the BW Rock and areas of church or wherever you feel comfortable with, just that little bit of inch might be the life-changing spot in your life where you can turn your life around. And I'm glad I got another chance to get it right.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Recovery Happens. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please give us a call at 888-68-BW-ROCK.